Not us both vibing along to the countdown.
Ooh,
Oh
it's gonna be
goodness.
one of
Ooh.
those
It's
shows.
one of those. Yep. Welcome to the Fallout Post-Apocalyptic Edition. Come on, hands for some reason. Where we discuss the fallout of all of your favorite reality TV shows. Today we are here with, I think, episodes, is it 10 and 11? I don't know anymore.
We're on episode 10. I wrote 10 when I typed it in.
I think it's 10 and
or
11. I think it's 10 and 11.
I'm as invisible as the HOH.
Y'all, it has been a week. But yes, episodes 10 and 11 of Big Brother Canada Season 9. I'm Logan Murphy.
I'm Jordyn Lagace, also known as BBCAN source.
Yep. Y'all, it's going to be one of those podcasts. We are just... Oh, okay. Jordyn, how are you?
Aside, I'm feeling a little bit better, but I still feel gross. So yay me. Other than
Relatable
that,
content. We love to see it. But yeah, so we are here with a Wednesday episode as well as the 4th live eviction for BBCAN 9. But before we get started, if you are watching us on YouTube, either live or after the fact, make sure you're liking and subscribing and doing all the YouTube related things. If you're listening to us afterwards, wherever fine podcasts are available to be listened to, make sure you are doing the liking and subscribing things there as well. And with that, we don't have any clearly defined notes tonight, so this is going to be a very all over the place sort of gig, because I didn't make any notes. So we're just gonna go into this. So we start Wednesday's episode with the fallout after the veto ceremony. Quite literally, the fallout, because there was a lot of fallout. And as we all, or Wednesday, we start with the fallout from the noms. I'm just, oh God. Kyle and Rohan are on the block.
Yes, they are. But not for long.
But not for long, because things happened. People were strategizing. People were in the house doing things. And then we get to the veto.
Yes. What did you think of this veto?
Oh, I kind of loved this veto. I feel like this is the most physical comp we've had this season. And I saw a lot of people on Twitter talking about how there haven't really been any physical comps this season, which I kind of agree with. But like, this seems to be the most physical that we've gotten.
Yeah, I would have probably been Austin in this. Austin did play right. Yeah. I would have been really bad at it.
Mm-hmm.
I can blow, but I can't blow and go up and down in holes. I would have been all sorts of shit.
Oh, you can't blow in holes, Jordyn.
Nope.
See, this is a competition right up my alley. I think I would have done
dropping shit everywhere.
I feel like I probably would have done decently, but then like gotten to the end because there was no like rail on the outside when you're like getting it into the actual hole. I feel like I would like overdo it and then just like it wouldn't end well.
You could have. That's like I would have probably overblown quite often, and then it would have been exhausting because I would have been going back and forth.
Yeah.
To start over.
Yeah.
Kudos for the moles in their holes because
very that. And just as a reminder, the veto players this week were Kyle and Ro, obviously because they were on the block, as well as Ty, Beth, and Austin, who were all chosen randomly. There were no house guest choice this week. And before the head of household, Kiefer kind of set his target on the edits, trying to make it seem like his target was Ro, but he was kind of really like, I just want one of them gone. But the show's making us think that the target is Ro, because we come to find out it was like kind of tight towards the end of the veto between Rohan and Ty, but ultimately Rohan wins the veto, so like good for him. That's lovely. We love to see it. And so obviously the fallout from the veto, we know Ro's using it on himself. It's just who's going to be the other nominee. And there was a lot of talk throughout the like day in between veto and veto ceremony. A lot of people were trying to get Victoria on the block because she's an island. I don't like this term island that they're using. Like because everyone's in a fucking pair or trio this season. So like why do we need
pairs, solo pairs.
I love pairs. What's your thought on pairs?
I have a lot of them on my Animal Crossing island.
Yes. I make a lovely pear tart sometimes. I haven't in a very long time, but I've been known to make a pear tart.
It's interesting that there's clear duos, but there isn't. Mm-hmm. But like they're ignoring the bigger problem, which is groups.
Yeah, and like the alliances are just kind of all over the place. Like we've kind of dissolved like the two sides of the house, and now there's honestly kind of three sides of the house. Because you've got like the original Sunsetter group, you've got the original Oddball group, and then you've got like the people in the middle. So it's literally three islands, if you will. Everyone's on an island, but everyone's visiting each other's Animal Crossing islands. Like
there's just a lot going on.
There's a lot. And so yeah, we see a lot.
This cast is also very wish-washy.
Oh, the waffle Wednesdays that are happening, just like every Wednesday, it's like, oh, do we do this? Do we flip the vote? Do we do
Maybe
it? Should we save?
Flip the vote.
We flip? Jordyn, let's flip the vote right now.
It's been, and for people that like follow closely, I don't know if I can't be the only one that's stressed out by the flip-flopping.
Oh, I'm stressed literally every like Tuesday and Wednesday at this point.
It's step
like
away,
every Tuesday and Wednesday.
You stop watching feeds for 15 minutes and the target's changed.
Suddenly they're trying to vote out someone who's not even on the block. They're trying to vote out the HOH. They're trying to vote out Arissa. Like
it's a whole lot of waffling. That is
but this cast is great. Like I'm gonna say it again. Like this cast
are great TV.
Giving us the entertainment. I mean, we were kind of like lull. This week was kind of a lull, and we'll get into Invisible HOH very soon. But I'm very excited about an Invisible HOH. So yes, we get a lot of Invisible HOH. So we get a lot of people trying to put up Victoria. But Kiefer ultimately decides that after Ro uses the veto on himself, shocker, spoiler. I don't think anyone's really that surprised. He puts Austin up, which is
I would have been surprised if he didn't use it.
Oh, I wouldn't. Yeah, I just love how Rohan, like Kyle's the only person actually sitting on the block. He is actually on the block this time, sitting there on the block. Thank you. But Ro's like, Kyle, now tell me why I should use the veto on you. And literally, if I was in that scenario, I'd be like, use it on yourself. Like, I don't know. The fuck you talking about? Unless it's Brendan and Rachel, like, there's no scenario where, like, you're going to use a veto on me. Just, no.
I don't understand.
So, yeah, so we do get Austin versus Kyle for the live eviction on Thursday. Now we get a good amount of veto ceremony fallout, Jordyn.
We do.
And it was really anticlimactic.
It was.
And they teased it earlier yesterday on the Twitter. And I was like, this is not the clip you tease. The clip you tease is the party, which we'll get to.
Party.
But yeah, so Kyle decides to call out Kiefer for being a hypocrite. Victoria then calls out Kyle for throwing her name under the bus. What was her line? It was like, Oh, when you say hypocrite, are you talking about Kiefer or yourself? Something like that? I was like, come on, Spicy B. Yes.
And we'll get into the party, because was that the first time they've received liquor?
I believe so. We're like 22, 23 days in, and this is the first
289 days in.
It's been 84 years, Jordyn.
It feels like it's been 84 years.
Yeah, this whole thing is like Kyle going after Kiefer, Victoria going after Kyle, Victoria going after Kyle and Ro, but they're trying to deflect everything on Jed and Ty, and it's a whole big discussion. But we get a party. Can somebody say BBCAN party? BBCAN party. And I will say, I think it was in the cast assessment or one of the early episodes, I did say, I hoped the Miss Tina Thistle will get the beer task. And guess what we got today, y'all? Miss Tina Thistle and the beer task. Miss Tina
Thistle getting the beer task.
With Tara, which I thought was interesting. I personally would not have chosen Tara for this. I probably would have chosen Victoria.
I think they wanted to give the older ladies something to do.
As Mad Rose D calls them, the olds.
The olds.
The olds.
It's been 84 years.
84 years. But yeah, so we get this lovely task from Big Brother where Tina and Tara have to like hide.
During the episode, I thought they weren't supposed to get caught.
I thought that was the goal too.
But like, they got clocked right away. They went into the pantry and the door was locked. And then one of the boys, I think it was Jed or Ty, and they were like, I don't know what's going on, but Tina and Tara just went into the pantry and the door's locked now.
I don't know. I think they were getting alcohol regardless. They just had to feign it as like a task. Which, like, cool.
So it didn't really feel like a task. But
like give Tina the tasks. We love to see Tina with some tasks.
She chugged that beer better than the boys could. I was
she's from Newfoundland. Of course she did. Like, are we surprised? Literally, the first thing she said to us this entire season in her cast bio was, I think, something to the effect of, I'm the kind of person that you want to go out and get a beer with. Hi, I would like to go get a beer with Tina Thistle.
Come on, Tina Thistle.
So once we're both vaccinated and borders open, we go to Newfoundland and we go party with, it's been 84 years. We go party with Tina after she wins the season.
At this point, you're getting vaccinated way before I'll ever see a vaccination.
I mean, I'm getting vaccinated on Monday, y'all. We're here for it. But yeah, so
it'll still be 84 years when I'm finally able to get it.
Oh, 100%. But yeah, so we get a little bit of like vote drama. A lot of people wanted to try to flip the vote this week. We get a lot of Tara being annoyed that people aren't campaigning. So
you know what? If I was Tara, I would be also kind of annoyed that they're not.
Well, because they literally started campaigning like Wednesday morning. Like, no. The moment I'm on the block, I'm like, hello, keep me.
I'm good for your game. This person, no good.
I am good for your game. And I'm leaning into the camera to tell you that I am good for your game. So Tina's getting annoyed that like no one's campaigning. So Tina decides to take matters into her own hands. She grabs her fellow old, Miss Tina Thistle. She goes up to the HOH room with their other fellow old, Kiefer, with their pre-90s Olds Alliance. Shout out to Mad Rose D. If you don't watch Mad Rose D, go do it. They're phenomenal. But yeah, Tina's like, olds. let's get Austin out. And Kiefer's like, excuse me, no, because I've said since the start of the week that I want Kyle out. And then Tina and Tara go to Ro, and they're like, so there's a chance Kyle's going to stay. And Ro goes, no, this is all just a ploy. They're trying to get you on the wrong side of the vote, yada, 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 yada. And I'm just like, what is all this? Like, the BB paranoia has set in.
I'm paranoid and I'm not in the house anymore.
Literally, I'm like, I just don't get it anymore. But yeah, Kyle starts campaigning really to like Jed and Ty.
You'll need a campaign. I'm sleeping in the ball pit until eviction. Come see me 15 minutes before.
Oh, you want a vote flip? It has to be 30 minutes before the vote. Sorry. Because that's what we're getting on BBCAN 9, apparently. But yeah, so Kyle starts campaigning like Wednesday afternoon, I think it is, to Jed and Ty, and they're actually really considering it. So we really don't know what's going to happen going into the vote, except we know exactly what's going to happen because Kyle got evicted by a 7-1 vote. Are we surprised? Not really. This is kind of the way, like, Kyle kind of knew he was going. I would have been interested to see if they had been able to get a vote flip to happen, because a lot of people were like, oh, Austin is not good for my game. And so it was interesting that once again, a vote flip was kind of like nullified. What do you think about this 7-1 vote, Jordyn?
I mean, clearly Ro wasn't going to vote out his homeboy.
Yeah.
It was pretty... I feel like it was a straightforward week.
Mm-hmm.
Kiefer got his way. Mm-hmm. I would have probably been upset had Austin left.
Oh, I would have been very upset because I love Austin.
Because I cannot deal with my faves all leaving.
Yeah. And you want to know the best part, Jordyn? There is now... not that. That is a great part. But there are no white men in the Big Brother Canada house.
Bye!
I mean, as much as I would have liked Josh to stay, like that's still like a really like crazy thing to think about. And again, BBUS could never. Like BBCAN continues to slay. I know so many people that are like, oh, I'm watching BBCAN for the first time. And I'm like, this is the best season to start. Like you made the right decision starting. Very that too. Very that. But yes, so we get the tease on Wednesday night of an invisible HOH, and we're like, what the fuck does this mean? Twitter was like, what the fuck is this? What is happening? So after the Kyle eviction, we get the start of an HOH competition, and Arissa explains to all the people, they're set up in like a traditional booth comp sort of setup, but Kiefer is also like parallel with them, so that way like not even Kiefer can see what the scores are. But Arissa tells them that this, for the first time in BBCAN history, there is an invisible HOH, and the invisible HOH gets all the perks of being HOH minus the room, obviously, because they're invisible. They can play in the veto potentially if they are picked. They can compete in next week's HOH, which is insane to me. And yeah, it's just...
And as Arissa had said that, Kiefer kind of under his breath was like, what's the point in an HOH of playing if this is how that's going to be? What's the point in being a whiny pants? You go into Big Brother to expect the unexpected, so deal.
Yeah, that kind of threw me off. Like, I still do like Kiefer, but like, that kind of threw me off. I'm like, okay, well then why didn't you throw the HOH last week to Austin? Austin wouldn't have put you up.
I don't know.
So, like,
because he's
I
not
don't
that bright.
either. Yeah. I mean, I think he is.
I think he's on borrowed time, to be honest.
I could see that. I think he's smart enough to, like, get his way out if he does end up on the block again. It kind of just depends on who he's up against. But yeah, so we get this rock conveyor belt competition where each person has their own little what is that called? Number counter, push button number counter thing. That's what I'm calling it. And you have to watch as rocks go past on a conveyor belt, and the person closest to the total number of rocks will be the Invisible HOH. It seems like a good old, like, classic BB comp, which I kind of love. Like, just make people stand in booths and count rocks. It feels like an org comp too. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, they literally
was it like, okay? In season 3, was it season 2, where
which one?
They dropped all these balls into the backyard, and you had to count the balls, and it gave.
I thought that was season 1, or was it season 2?
I think it was 1 or 2.
Well,
but I feel like
it was
Ica, then it
was
gave
season 2.
Ica counted the amount or whatever. I think
it was Ica, because was that the catalyst for the letter shredding?
Yeah.
Yeah. They've done something. They've done stuff like this before. I wish they had been balls from the ball pit. They just recycled the balls. I'm like, did they literally keep those balls for 7 years? And now
they took them to the new studio.
No. If they held on to all those balls just to have the ball hit this season, I would cry. Like, that's
they were saving up their balls for the pit of balls.
Apparently. But yeah, so we don't really see the start of this HOH comp, and that's all we really got from the Thursday episode. But we have
this is what brings us to Speculation Corner.
Speculation Corner with Jordyn and Logan. Da-na-na. I don't know. The theme song in the works. So if you don't want any spoilers or speculations or anything like that, thank you for watching. Goodbye.
To the two of you.
Yes. So, we still do not know 100% for sure who the HOH is. We have a pretty good idea based on some screenshots and some things we've seen on feeds today, but feeds have been down the majority of the day because they're trying to keep this entire thing secret for Monday, which honestly, I kind of commend Big Brother for doing that.
My only complaint is I wish they would give us, like, so if you're planning on keeping the feeds down for said length of amount of time, let the fans know.
They did today. The BBCAN Twitter posted that feeds would be down the majority of the day, which I was like, thank you. Like, I have not really checked feeds today because they said that. We did get feeds for about 30 minutes. We got a lot of, I think they're on now, actually. I think they got turned back on. But we do see this, like, we see a couple conversations with, I believe it was Ty, Jed, and Vic. I'm talking about, how I want to keep you safe. And then Victoria, alone in the bathroom, cuts straight to camera and mouths, "What do I do?" And then we also see in the screenshots of, like, the comp itself, we see, like, the numbers of everybody's, like, their rock count. And it looks like Victoria and Ty's are the closest together. And already with the speculation that it could be Victoria, I think BB Twitter has kind of narrowed it down to where we think it's right now. It's either Victoria or Ty. Is kind of where most people are falling. I'm about 80% sure at this point it's Victoria, which I'm all on board for. But I don't think as of this point we have noms.
If this was your week, would you keep it safe and do one from each side of the house, or would you
absolutely not? Absolutely not. I'm putting up the two biggest threats to my game. Whoever that happens to be, I'm putting up. Well, for my personal game, I don't know what I would do if I was in the house. But like potentially, yeah.
Corner.
Come on, theme song. But yeah, I could definitely see. Yes. Speculation corner. But no, I think if it is Vic, I think it could be very easy for her in this moment to put up Jed and Ty. I think that's what a lot of people in the house would probably do. But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see.
What I want to know too is, are they going? Does the Veto stay anonymous too?
I don't know if Veto stays anonymous.
I want to know, just because, like, if that's not staying anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine you get Invisible HOH and then you go and win the Veto?
Mm-hmm. So all we know, I believe, right now is literally that. As of right now, I think we know. Well, we know have-nots. That's kind of all we know. We know have-nots are Austin, Brayden, Kiefer, and Vic. And I can understand why Vic put her, if it is Vic, why Vic put herself on Slop. But from what I'm seeing on the BB Twitter streets, pretty much everyone has a good idea that Victoria is HOH.
I don't remember where it was earlier today. I happened to see that Ty and Jed think Brayden and Austin have the HOH.
I did see that earlier today as well. There's a moment. So Vic left the ball pit about an hour ago, and then Jed, Ty, Beth, Austin, and Brayden are convinced that she's HOH and made a super fan move. And so Austin is kind of fully turned on Vic at this point, and she's like, we just need the five of us to go to the end, being her, Brayden, Jed, Ty, Beth. But why are you going to go to the end with two big threats? Like, I don't get that.
Look, I don't get a lot of this game this season,
but it sure is good.
It's been juicy.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of fell off interest-wise last week with Keeper in Charge. Mm-hmm. And now with the Invisible HOH, Big Brother has me hooked on in again.
Mm-hmm. Invisible V, if you will.
Invisible V. That's why we're in the Fortress of Solitude.
Oh, absolutely. Since no one else is going to be in the HOH this week, we decided to take it over. But with that, I don't think there's really anything else to talk about, is there, Jordyn?
No, honestly, I kind of expected this to be a shorter episode just because we don't have much information.
Yeah.
Now, our schedule is changing also.
Yes, it is.
Logan, what have we decided to switch to?
So we've decided, because Thursdays are a little bit busy for both of us, watching the eviction, work, all of those things. So our new schedule is going to be Mondays at our normal 10:30 Eastern time, Wednesdays at our normal 8:30 Eastern time with our Wednesday correspondent, Santi, who we love. Shout out to him because he was having a difficult week this week, so we love. And Fridays are going to be our new days instead of Thursday. We may stick with this 10:30 Eastern sort of moment. Pretty much we're going to do Friday whenever the fuck we feel like it.
And once we have more information on BB Australia, we'll be also doing that. All of those things.
So, okay, let me just talk about BBAU for the hottest of seconds. So, they've already filmed like 2 weeks minimum at this point, right? So are they just filming? Do you think they're filming the entire season and then releasing it?
Yeah, because they're not the top. BBAU has never had feeds. So,
but they have a live vote at the end, though. That's what's confusing me.
I don't know, because it feels like every other week is when we get a person.
Yeah, because we've only gotten, 4 people? But we've gotten, but they're clearly showing clips with everyone in it. And, we know that some people have won competitions multiple times. So, I don't understand this editing with BBAU.
I don't either. But I love their DR chair.
I love their house. That's a cute-ass house. And I think once we have, a full cast sort of situation, we'll sit down and talk all things BBAU.
Yeah, because obviously, we know 4 people. That's it.
We literally know 4 people. But Sarah Jane is already one of my favorite house guests ever across all the franchises, and I've seen a minute and a half with her in it. I am obsessed with Sarah Jane.
There's that guy that I really like.
Oh, he has he has a slightly
He's a slightly generic white man.
But it's a slightly generic, a step up from a slightly generic white man name. But he definitely is a generic white man. Hold on, I am pulling it up.
Go into the Twitter DMs, because when I seen him,
Brenton. Oh, we got another person. Oh wait, no. We already knew her. Do we know her already?
I don't know. Shout out to Miss Julie. Your new photo on the socials.
Oh, yes.
As I'm looking for BBAU, just double check. Let's see.
Yes.
Before we go off.
So we also got Lil, aka Flex Mommy, who I love. She seems like a person in the social media space who has fans, so that's good.
She seems fun, Miss Lil.
She's got almost 7,000 on Twitter, so that's lovely. But she seems fabulous. Okay, work. Okay, but why are we also getting thank you for flying BB Air? Touches down soon on Channel 7. When is soon, BBAU?
More than meets the eye. BBAU, you're testing me.
But yeah, I feel like most likely we'll probably be 1 day a week for BBAU, especially if it crosses over with BBCAN.
And so what we might do too with BBAU, as we have I think one of our BB Canada days will move to BBAU day, and then because one thing we have noticed is 3 days a week is very difficult, even though this cast is so flippy.
Yeah.
And we're trying to stick to it. But
it's hard, y'all. It's hard being a podcaster.
I cannot be the person that
goes.
How can you? There are people that go live every day. No, man.
Genuinely, no. I don't know how. But yeah, so you'll start seeing some BBAU content here soon. Nevertheless, we will be back on Monday, 10:30 Eastern-ish, to discuss all things the Monday episode of BBCAN.
And we will finally...
12. We'll know.
Yeah, we'll know. 10:30 p.m.
Yep. Ish. And with that, thank you so much for watching or listening. See you all Monday, 10:30 p.m. ish Eastern Standard Time. And with that, goodbye. Bye.